decisions, great mound visits, great job not letting the best player beat you.
This one crushed, out to right field. And it's going to be out of here. Pennsylvania walk off home run. Travis Devonic sends him to Williamsport.
With the 37th pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Kevin McGonigal, a shortstop from Monsignor Bonner High School, Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's gone. Yes! And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me? Oh,
His 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What is up, Delaware County, and welcome back for episode number 52 of Delco Baseball Now. That guy right there is Ben Thorpe. I'm Brennan Ricciardi. Producer Rob along for the ride as always. And Ben, we've got a good week of games, and I know you were just at a game right now as well.
Yeah, I'm still a little cold and wind. I don't know what the word is. Wind blown, maybe.
I think that would be a good word.
Yeah, wind blown.
I like that. That.
But it feels good to get back out, get some games in.
Essentially baseball.
Oh,
Cold,
yeah.
wind,
Yeah.
3-2 final, ground outs, galore. And that's the name of the game. We got teased with the 70-degree week. They really made us think that it was going to be, here to stay.
You couldn't ask for more representative weather of a Central League opener.
Yeah, and it's funny. I forget if we said it on the last time we recorded, but all the teams that went down south last week, it was like 70 and sunny here. And
welcome back.
Welcome back. It's not fun. Shout out to teams like Bonner who are down there now. I think Lower Merion's going to Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure, and I think Ridley might be going somewhere.
They might be. I know Radnor's also
down
there. Yeah, shout out to you guys.
Jealous.
Enjoy the warmth there.
I think we should go down south next year to follow it. Like if we can find any teams that are like within a couple hours like of each other in Florida, like if they're all in the same, try and hit a couple games down there.
Get like Delco Baseball Hawaiian shirts.
Oh man, you know what? I think on the site we might be able to do that. I think we can do that. Yeah. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to our new team. That's right. Ben and I are now owners of a Media Little League team. I believe it's in the National League, so that is I think 8 to 10-year-olds. And the kids are going to have Delco Baseball Now on the back of the jersey. We are the Blue Jays, which is funny. As an Elizabethtown Blue Jay, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel great. It's good to kind of get. Haven't been a Blue Jay for a while, since I graduated at least. So it feels good to get back into that.
You have plenty of Blue Jays merch that you can rock as well.
Yeah, that is actually very true.
Borrow some.
I got plenty of E-Town stuff. Anyone who wants to come root for the Media Blue Jays or the Delco Baseball Now Blue Jays, my fault. Yeah, hit me up. I got some stuff.
I think we should show up in suits to the opening day ceremony and just really embrace the owner role, of this and show up in like sunglasses and just try and be like the real owners. Try and represent. Yeah. It's in the press box.
I can't wait to give one of those like Moneyball speeches to the kids, just like this is losing fun.
And then the one scene where Jonah Hill's like asked him, or he's like text me updates. He's like, you don't watch the games? Like, no, I never watch the games. We should just show up for the pregame and then just leave.
Going to watch our farm team going to a T-ball game.
But hey, this is the next generation of Delco Baseball Now stars here. So to get them on the good side early, I know they probably won't have social media at the age of 8 to 10, but they do go on YouTube. So I bet they could watch the show. They'll probably like the shorts, and maybe we got to start like streaming.
Yeah, we could do that. The kids, the live stream of the game.
Yeah. All right, so we got a good show today. We got the boys from Sun Valley in studio. That episode was recorded last week, so that was before they started playing, but we got it to add on to this show here as well. All right, so the way we're going to go about our coverage this year is it doesn't really make sense for us to kind of like talk about every single game on a given week just because there could be up to like 30, 40 games going on. So it kind of feels like that would be not the best use of time. So we're just going to kind of go and give some of our biggest takeaways from any given week, some of the biggest storylines, some of the best player performances, everything that we feel is, kind of the most pressing needs that might be in some ways showing different games. Maybe game of the week we could do a little more in depth. But we want to start off here on a game that we went to on Monday. Lower Merion 5, Garnet Valley 0. Van Wilner, in a day where I'd imagine he would probably admit he didn't have the best command of all of his stuff early on.
Yeah.
Still went 6 shutout innings.
Yeah, he was as advertised. Again, kind of like today, a little bit colder, a little windy. It's hard to have your best stuff in that, especially like velocity wise, and just. I think we saw he kind of maybe had a little bit of struggle getting a feel for the off speed early on. That eventually kind of locked in. So it makes sense. It's a little bit to be expected given the weather and just it being March in the Northeast. But I was really impressed with him.
It was just one of those days where when Garnet Valley didn't pounce on him early, you kind of knew like they were screwed, right? Because Lower Merion, they got out to, I want to say like a 3-0 lead in like the third or fourth. And it was like they got, Garnet Valley had runners in scoring position a couple times, didn't capitalize. And then it's like, oh, well, now that he's got that feel for everything, like you kind of dug yourself a hole. One thing I also want to add is the Lower Merion defense looked fantastic. Jack Scholes at second, Gus Wright at short, Brody Slensky at third, and for a while it was Justin Spiegler at first. They were super clean. I think maybe one error was like a throw on the run, so it was kind of a tough play anyway. But I want to say they turned maybe 2 or 3 double plays, and Van's pickoff move is disgusting.
Oh my God, we were sitting there like you do not see it coming. It's really quick.
For you, especially for a righty, that's very impressive. And B, they were all right on the money. For as quick as it was, and as much of like kind of a snap as it was, like the ball was in the first baseman's glove, right on the money. I think he picked 2 guys off, right?
Yeah, then you could tell Garnet was trying to, at least early on, was trying to be aggressive with their base running and maybe try and get some steals, get something going. But a couple of them, when you kind of take that strategy, there are a couple of guys, but they just never had a shot.
Yeah.
They were done.
Yeah, I really like this Lower Merion team. I think they have 2 strong pitchers. They played Penn Charter on Thursday. They lost 2-0. That's a very good Penn Charter team. Not a loss that they should be necessarily.
Champion, right? Yeah.
No, Springside and Malvern. Yeah. But they're always good. I mean, I just remember watching the Cianis play there. How good they were. They're always very competitive. It's never a good loss, but like they held their own. Like it is what it is. They have a D1 and D2 commit in Van and Isaiah Negron on the top of the rotation, and a strong defense. And I think the Bats showed a decent amount in that first game there that they should be pretty satisfied. I think we haven't quite seen enough to put them maybe on like the Haven and Marple tier yet, but they absolutely have the ability to do so, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talent there, especially on the pitching side. Van and Isaiah are both very good pitchers, and we saw with Spiegler too. He looked pretty good in this one inning that he had. The offense will need to come along a little bit, I think. Getting shut out is never a good sign, no matter who you play. But, again, as it warms up, I think it'll get a little bit easier.
Myrtle Beach should be good for them, yeah. Last thing I'll say about Lower Merion is Makai Smith might be the most yoked baseball player in the Central League.
Massive,
so I cover football a little bit as well. So I had recognized the name, and I knew he played there. He's committed to Lehigh for football. Man, I would not want to be on his bad side. And that dude locks down center field. I think he was hitting cleanup.
I think it was 5.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe,
somewhere in the middle of that.
5.
Somewhere in the middle of that order, he ripped a single. So yeah, if we had a best most intimidating Delco baseball players, I think he would be on that list there.
Dude, he's a good player too.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. All right, let's move on. So we were talking about Garnet Valley, and it's ironic that this talking point is about how good their offense has been. That honestly might be more of a compliment to Van Wilner than it is a knock on Garnet Valley. But in the 2 games besides the one that they faced Van, they've scored 12 and 19 runs. So let's talk about, we talked a little bit about that Garnet and Haverford School game last Friday. This most recent Wednesday, they played Perk Valley, and they scored in every single inning. Cole Lombardo, sophomore, reached base all 6 times, 4 extra base hits, 5 RBIs. Eddie Swardinevich, he had a homer. He drove in 5 runs. This team is so talented offensively. Mark Zuppo, I think it might be Zuppo. They're calling him Zup. So I'm going to go Zuppo. Brady Thompson, Harrison Mall, like they got dudes all over the lineup. And they're kind of exactly what we thought they were going to be. The pitching is inexperienced, but they can absolutely mash.
Yeah, I completely agree. And kind of going back to them getting shut out by Van, that's probably going to be the norm for most teams facing it.
Yeah.
So, it's, again, like, not the best sign, but also he is who he is. Like,
and also Chris Schaller is out. Schaller, however you pronounce it. He was a little gimpy on that game. Obviously he didn't play, but he was a little gimpy when we saw him outside the dugout. He hasn't played this whole week. Hopefully he's back on the field soon. But the fact that they're scoring 19 runs when he's not playing is absurd.
It just shows the quality of the rest of the guys in that lineup. And also, I think a little bit to like their resilience to after getting shut out, just like washing that, bouncing back. And I don't really know how the Perk Valley team is, but
think they're 6A.
19 runs is 19 runs.
Yeah, I think they're
That's
6A. So
impressive.
yeah, 19-12 score. I wrote in the article. I'm like, Garnet Valley's a football school, and then they brought the football score out there. So let's move on to one of the hottest starts of the season by any hitter, Alex Barris. He was a Wayne teammate of mine for Episcopal this year. He's a second baseman for them. I think he's had a couple 3-hit games. He's a perfect top of the order guy because he does have a little juice, but he's very fast, getting on base, and Episcopal has scored, I want to say, I'll look it up here, maybe 10 runs in every single game this year.
Yeah, they've been swinging in. I mean, he's been just packing the stat sheet. Just every game he's out there. He's had a really incredible start to the year.
So EA, they had 2 scrimmages, 9-3 and 12-4 wins. They've also won 10-0, 10-7, and 10-0.
Jeez.
So they might have to slide up the old power rankings this week. Yeah. Looking pretty good.
Speaking of teams that can swing it.
Yeah. Also, want to give a quick shout out to Michael Schaefer here. I didn't realize this until an Episcopal assistant coach DM'd me. He's in 8th grade. He's in 8th grade. First off, I didn't know that was allowed. But I guess when it's not PIAA,
yeah, with those schools, I think you can even do that in PIAA. There's like certain.
Can you? I guess it never really happens.
Yeah, it's possible. There's something.
It's like a clause that you can get waived in.
Something or a waiver. I'm also think that also could just be like hockey, which isn't PIAA.
That's also true. Yeah.
I don't know. I could be an idiot, but I thought you could.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the PESA, you can be a grad, like you can play a post-grad year too. So I don't see why you couldn't do a pre-grad, like pre-high school year as well.
Also, like for some reason, may not count towards your years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, the dude's getting saves against a team that was in the PCL championship in LaSalle,
ridiculous.
which is insane. So shout out to those boys here. I would say the best individual performance by any high school player so far this season was Shane Durkin, only a sophomore. Our sophomores having great starts here against Interboro. He had 7 RBIs. He had a grand slam to ice the game. It was one of those innings where the Interboro pitchers kind of kept walking everybody, and they were just waiting to see like when is it going to really come back to bite them, and it bit them.
Yeah, it's safe to say it did. And this is a guy that I guess we had our eyes on going into the year, and has got off to a really hot start. He's going to be exciting to watch this year.
I remember another Delco League teammate of mine, Ethan Mahan, who was a senior at Haverford last year, was talking about Shane, who was a freshman last year, saying that guy is going Power 5. To say that like right away, and then I saw a video of him hitting a ball like 97 in a cage like this offseason. I'm like, Jesus, dude can't even drive yet. And he's hitting the ball 97. But the Haverford pitching staff hasn't looked bad. How about Gavin McClafferty today?
Yeah, what was that, 10 Ks?
10 Ks, 6 innings, combined no-hitter. Him and Jack Raich decided to go out there and give their own combined no-hitter because
a lot of no-hitters in Haverford.
Haverford area is that's 3 already on the year.
Yeah, this is a really impressive start for them. I think this is a team that even like we might have had under our radar.
I said in the season previews, I'm like, this is a team that is kind of rebuilding, which isn't false.
No,
they lost a lot of seniors last year, but I think that's a very promising start for them, and they can really build off that. And we'll see, man. I mean, the 6A field takes, I think, 24 teams, maybe 22.
Yeah,
I would say 24. 24.
I think 6A is 24 and 5A is 12.
Yep. All right, so next thing we're going to talk about here. So we only got to see him for a couple innings. I think Luke D'Ancona is right up there with Van for the most talented pitchers in Delco.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
He was I stopped by the Malvern Prep scrimmage when they played Haven. He was throwing upper 80s, in the first outing of the season. He had, I think, 6 Ks in, I want to say, 3 shutout innings against Devon Prep. And, this is a little bit of foreshadowing here, but seeing him against Marple's lineup on Monday is going to be very fun.
Yeah, that's going to be one that I think you're going to be able to see how good he is really and how good that Marple lineup
Absolutely,
is. Really. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But, I want to move on here real quick to the Springfield and Harriton game that you were just at. We were recording this on Thursday afternoon, so we don't have anything about the games on Friday. But you were at the Springfield-Harriton game. What'd you see?
A lot of good pitching. Sean Williams, Charlie Belly. It's Belly, right?
I think it might be Belli.
Belli?
Yeah, we're getting better with names.
All right, Sean Williams, Charlie Belli, both just threw incredibly. Matt Bean as well came in at the end. Just kind of a victim of a little bit of like unfortunate circumstances, but for Springfield, I think they're going to be really upset with this result. They played well, but there's a couple of mistakes in there, a couple of base running mistakes. the play where Harrington scored their 2 runs to go ahead was a drop third strike that got in the right field. Just a couple like self-inflicted mistakes I think that they're gonna be upset about. Overall, though, it was still a very good game for both teams.
Isn't it funny how they both predicted it exactly how? Like,
it went the exact way they said it would.
Both teams were like, "This is gonna," every year we play each other opening day. Every year it's a low scoring, like 1 or 2 run game, and it was 3-2 final. That's exactly what we thought was going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I thought Sean Williams, whatever slurve, sweeper, whatever it is, the righties were just not seeing it well.
He was chalking too. And so was Belli, and really shout out to Belli. Like, he was, with all due respect, the reason Harrington was even in that game.
Yeah, very impressive after letting up 2 in the top of the first to just
just bounce back, locked in. The 2 of them just threw incredibly. It was a very impressive pitching matchup.
I would say both of them, at worst, are both top 10 Central League pitchers.
Easily,
you could push top 5. Once we see
a little bit more feel for everything,
how things progress. But very exciting game to start the year. I think that these teams. Did it feel intense in terms of like rivalry wise? Because that's what I think it was Ethan Marshall that said, like, this is a game that just felt like
it worked its way into that. Kind of as some of those games do, especially when they're that close. I think it started off, everyone might have been a little bit cold, a little windy, but the energy slowly built as you kind of went through the game. And towards the end, where Harrington started getting guys on base, Springfield started getting guys on more guys on base. Well, I guess in the 7th when Springfield got guys on base, like, you could really feel that it just kind of like a switch flipped, and there was a lot of energy in there. It was a really good game to watch.
Tying run was on third, right?
Yeah, the tying run. Shout out to Mike Turner, beat out a ground ball to short. He's a running back for Springfield.
Michael Turner.
Yeah,
okay.
He was their running back this year, but he can run, dude. He beat out a routine ground ball. Stole second, got the third on a pass ball or ground out or something.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't get the hit to bring him in, unfortunately.
I need to give a shout out to whoever in the Harrington dugout name dropped the podcast. I could hear it. So Ben was at the game. I was watching on Game Changer, and I think it was Mick Brunelli was on base. And I forget exactly how they phrased it, but someone said, like, the Delco leader in stolen bases, as mentioned on the Delco Baseball Now podcast, and I just I shot my head up. I'm like, wait, I can't believe that. I mean, hey, we did talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I had on the Twitter when Brunelli stole a base today. I was like, the unofficial official king or stolen base king of Delco.
If anyone else stole 31 bases, it's news to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard anything about that. But great game for those two. They'll both be fighting for the playoffs all year. So look forward to seeing that again. Another team that I definitely think is going to be in the playoff bubble is Pencrest, and we talked about their game against Radnor last show. Obviously, they lost a tough game to Episcopal this week, but neither of their top 2 or 3 guys really threw in that game. At least started that game. EA put up 7 in the top of the first. I thought that Gavin Brown and Josh Kalinowski looked really good against Radnor, and I think they're going to be a team that is at the very least fighting for that one of those last playoff spots.
Yeah, and that's they're kind of a victim of a 7 bomb there. Like, they had a 7-run first inning. And speaking of pitching, though, Michael Shade. Michael Shade threw 4 innings, and
he stopped the bleeding.
Yeah, he threw really well against a really good EA team. And maybe was that his first varsity appearance, or was that?
I don't recall him being there last year.
Yeah, that could be another arm they're adding to that. He definitely showed something there.
Yeah, I mean, if he's a guy that they could trust to be that third guy to come in after Gavin and Josh, most of the Central League weeks, at least the conference games that affect playoff seeding, are going to be 2 games a week.
Yeah.
So having both of them and a third guy like him is something that I think could really get them a long way. And the offense has shown a lot. I love Nico Tazi at the top of the order. He's a guy that I think really kind of does it all. And, going throughout the lineup, Gavin Brown, Ben Pannoni, and Sam Dinnis hiding at the bottom of the order. I think they kind of spread out the wealth very well there. But I'm excited to see them play, some of the upper echelon Central League teams and see what they are able to do.
Yeah, for sure. That's getting Gavin Brown against one of those fellow playoff contenders is going to be very telling.
So, as mentioned, we're not going to release the power rankings on the show. We'll do it over the weekend because it's weird. Like, Bonner hasn't played a game yet, and the Haverford School has already played like 5 or 6, and I think they're whatever and a tie because they tied Garnet Valley.
They were 4-0-1.
They definitely haven't lost a game.
Yeah,
I
unless they've played another game.
They're 4-0-1 according to this. They will play Strathaven in a non-conference game. Well, by the time you're seeing this, it will have already happened. So we'll. You'll know the result. Don't need to predict the future here, but yeah, I mean the Haverford School has of the teams that have played has without a doubt looked like, in my opinion, the most complete team. And that's no slight to EA. I just think that what we've seen from both their offense and their pitching staff has been just incredible. I mean, I think Ian White Jr., if the season ended today, is your Delco Cy Young, and they've had a lot of young bats like Jaden Rivera step up, Brenner Green, Brandon Dunbar, E-Town commit,
yes, sir.
Looks good. And Connor Scanlon in the middle of the order. Like I still think from top to bottom, the Bonner offense will probably be better. But as in terms of like a well-rounded team, Haverford's been incredible this year.
Yeah, I agree. They've gotten off to as good of a start as you could ask for. I'm excited to see them once like Interact Play comes along. I think that's really where like those type of teams ramp up. So that'll be kind of the true test, but. They've been running through everyone so far.
Yeah, they had a great game against I think it was CB East, who had a Clemson commit as well and a Pitt commit going back and forth in the order. Got a feeling once we break down the 6A brackets in a couple weeks, they're gonna CB East is a team we're gonna have to circle because that's about as good as it gets in terms of a Delco like public school middle of the order right there. Very excited to see Bonner down in Florida, but. We want to talk about our first official game of the week. So we're going to be going to Marple Newtown on Monday. We got Marple hosting Strathaven, the 2 top teams in the Central League last year, 2 teams that we think are going to be right amongst that crew. I'd imagine Luke D'Ancona will get the start for Haven. I would guess Jack Mahalik for Marple, but it could be Aiden Kern because I think he started opening day last year.
Okay.
So I'm going to, if I had my money on it, I'd probably guess Jack Mahalik. But either way, there's a strong argument to be made. It's a top 2 pitcher against a top 2 offense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another like top 2 teams in the Central League as well.
For the right to be ranked higher in the power rankings, because I mean it doesn't get more cut and dry than seeing them actually play each other. It's always a weird situation where like. When 2 teams are playing each other in a non-conference game, like especially like you look in college baseball, like every Tuesday or Wednesday, Florida loses to like a very small school, and it's just like okay, like obviously they lost to them, but if they play 10 times, they're probably winning like 8. Like if they're with their best guys, they're probably winning like 8 of those. So we kind of have to balance what we see. And what we get, like I'd imagine if Strathaven beats Haverford tomorrow, like we kind of have to flip them, right? Just because of seeing them head to head. But it's also important to kind of balance like who played, for both sides, understanding that and going from there. But while we're on the topic of our high school guys, we're gonna welcome in Sun Valley in a couple minutes here. We got to talk real quick about their first game of the year. They took down Oxford. Shout out Sabo Training for going 5 strong innings, 2 hits each from Ivano Romanello, Jackson Messick, and I think Sabo also drove in 2 runs as well. They just lost a tough game to Shanahan. Once again, a good Shanahan team. They lost on a walk off. The Messick brothers both threw well because they only lost 2-1 here, but. Our only Delco representation of the Chessmont.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got to hold their own.
It's a very unique situation over there, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see, and they'll actually talk about that when we go into the interview.
It's like them and Delco Christian, who's in the Bicentennial. They're the only Delco team as well. But without further ado, let's welcome on our guys from Sun Valley. We got Pat Willie, we got Ivano Romanello, and we got Justin Hickman. All right, we are now joined by our guys from Sun Valley. We got Pat Willie, we got Justin Hickman, and Ivano Romanello, not Romaniello.
What's up, brother?
I would have guessed Romaniello, but as someone who gets my last name wrong all the time, you got to make sure it gets right. But we appreciate you guys coming in. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Great. I know we've been DMing a lot. We wanted to get you guys on because this team just looks like a content machine.
Yeah, I mean, it's all around.
Some good personalities here. So usually we start off asking about how the offseason's been, but you guys have got to play a couple scrimmages. So how have those gone? Like, what have you guys been, seen from the team so far?
I think our first scrimmage, we started off a little rough, but we battled back and really fought. And then our second scrimmage, we really put it together and put it to work against Harrington.
Yeah, like we had a chance to walk it off against Pencrest after being down 10-0, and I lined out to shortstop. So
You hit it hard at least?
tough.
I did.
All right, that's good. That's all that
There you
matters.
go, yeah.
Box score won't tell you that.
Nope. It was, yeah.
I mean, I feel like every
got
game,
you, though,
like Pencrest, I felt like we kind of I felt like we were just kind of like a group of kids. But I feel like as it's progressing, and like during the Harrington game, I felt like we were really sticking together as a team, and it really allowed us to rally up some hits and yeah.
All right, very important question here. Something I've always wondered: is it weird being in the Chessmont when you're neither chess nor Mont?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird that every other team around us, we don't play any of them. Unless it's like a non-league game, but the Chessmont's still a very hard league. Like
It's extremely hard. Yeah.
Every team we face, it's some type of committed kid on the mound, and I just don't think people in the area realize that we play such hard competition at all times.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten really used to it because I'm a 3-sport athlete. So like, I play basketball, I play all this team, soccer, I play all this team. So I've gotten pretty used to it. But still, sometimes I'd like to play Pencrest during the season, during a game that matters too. So
I think the worst is the drives going to
Like
all the way.
Oxford.
Yeah,
or
that's
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
40 to like an hour waiting on the bus to play a game. You just get tired after a little bit.
It's hard to get the fans out there too. Like try and
Yeah.
convince the boys to come out to Oxford and watch a game.
I think our closest one's like 30 minutes away. It's,
What the closest be?
Ruston-
One of the
Ruston-
Westchesters, probably.
Ruston.
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
Would you guys prefer to be in like a Del Valle or Central League, or do you guys
I feel
like overall
definitely
like being in the
It's a
Chess?
tough. It's a tough question because
I feel like
not
I feel
for
like
Del Valle.
I feel
feel
like
like
the Central League would be perfect. But
Yeah.
I think they just didn't want to take any more teams.
I think our team fits better in the Central League, but I feel like we get a lot better competition. So when we go and play in the summer, I feel like there's nothing we really haven't seen.
That's a good
So-
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember I was doing some research because originally I was just gonna ask why are you guys in the Chessmont? I'm like, I can probably just look it up and find out. And they used to be in the Del Valle. I think they just whooped everybody, and they're like,
I
we
feel
need
like
to.
that would still probably happen today.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh, yeah.
Even when we play, like, sorry, Chai, but every time it's pretty bad.
It's
for
just
them.
not a baseball conference,
Yeah.
Like they're great at basketball. They got some Chester's really good at football.
Yeah.
Like they got Academy Park, and it's just like baseball's just not their thing. But
Chai steals the top playoff spot every year.
they do.
So-
They do. They gave Rustin a good game last year.
Yeah, they did. They had a good team last
Not
year.
us, though.
They lost a lot of seniors though. So yeah. So you guys played. So it was Pencrest and then Harrington.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of see some of the Central League teams. At least see how you stack up, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. You guys beat some really good teams last year. You guys beat Carroll, Ruston, Oxford, and Chai. Like, how do winning those games kind of give you the confidence that you can, get through such a tough conference like this?
I feel like last year, we had some like really bright spots in the younger kids, and I feel like as a team we feel really confident in like, cause we missed a couple pieces that graduated last year, but I feel like the bright spots in the younger kids this year, I feel like gives us a lot of confidence that we're gonna be able to win those same games this year.
And I feel like as well, most of us that are playing have been up on varsity since we were sophomores. Like, I think at least like 5 or 6 of us have been. So I feel like we've like just grown together. And it's just like one of those years where like we're like really coming together as a team. Like it's like a whole different culture this year. Like it feels so much like I have like so much more fun this year than I have any other year.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. 100%. This year has been so much more fun, just like with practice and everything.
Just different vibe.
Yeah,
it's just
like our culture's just like more together.
Yeah, it's nice when you you kind of grow with that group, and then it's like finally your time. It's like a last dance kind of. When we had Marple on, I think they have 16 seniors, and they're like, this group has been together since they were 7th, 8th grade, like playing Little League together.
Yeah, we have a group of, 12 or 12
I think
seniors?
I think there's 13.
13
wow.
seniors, yeah, that are on the varsity roster right now.
Good amount committed to schools too, right?
Yeah, I think it's...
We have
4 or 5.
you two, Paulie, Andrew, Will.
5?
I
Yeah, I think 5.
Okay.
Who's the JUCO guy? Is that Andrew?
That's
Andrew.
That's
Andrew,
Andrew. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So I remember making the graphic like back in the fall,
Yeah.
the JUCO bandit. I love it.
So overall, last year you guys were 10-10. 7-10 in the Chessmont. Solid year. Just
Good conference.
barely missed out on playoffs. What did you guys learn, and what do you think you need to do? Like, what's that next step you need to take to make it into the playoffs?
I feel like it's just doing the little things more consistently in the games. Like, sometimes we just, like, I don't know. I just feel like we like lose focus, and I just feel like we have to be more focused in those type of games. Like we're all those games. Like we played Henderson, and we lost by 1 run on a walk off, and the game started. It was 2-0 because of errors. Like it's all just like I feel like just like the focus aspect of it that we just need to like improve on. Like win us more games.
Yeah, I feel like coming into this year, our motto this year has pretty much been like do your job. So basically, like you need to do whatever you can to win games, and I think we're preaching that a lot more this year. And I think we need to focus on just pretty much just closing the games out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Closing the games out and winning when we need to, because like last year when we lost to Bishop Shanahan by 1 was just like rough.
Yeah, and
Really
also just
rough.
like being selfless too, and just passing the bat around too, not just trying to like hit a home run every time.
This dude cracks me up when he talks. He's not even trying to be funny. He just makes me laugh.
Thank you,
When he started, when
Thank
he-
you, brother.
All right, what is the backstory on that? Because
Sketch. You don't know Sketch?
You know Sketch?
I saw he went to the
Twitch.
Barstool office. I don't know much about him, but I just know they brought him.
Ivana quotes him maybe 15 times per practice.
He's the dude that always wears a CJ
That's
Stroud jersey,
unbelievable.
right? Yeah. No, I don't-
Every practice you just hear like he's like, thank you, brother. Sorry for cussing. Thank you.
Are we officially old?
We might be.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
that's the first dude that like has kind of taken over. That was like,
Who is this guy? Yeah, like a random celebrity pops up and like there's like 100 million views. I'm like, I've never heard of this man in my entire life before.
I've heard of him since. Dude's
Yeah.
like, dude's hilarious.
He's a
But
funny guy.
that's unbelievable.
So we were thinking about making like merchandise for different teams and kind of like making shirts like based off like just different like either team sayings or something. I think a thank you brother
That was
t-shirt.
Yes.
Because like you know we have stuff with like our logo on it, which like we got a decent amount of sales, but like if we want like an entire team to buy something,
We would 100%.
yeah,
Oh,
like something like that, and you know just like different stuff for different
That'd be
teams.
unreal.
Yeah, just thank you brother t-shirt, and that's like why we like having teams in because like you know you can see stats and stuff from Game Changer, but you don't really learn anything about like a team and like what makes them click and whatnot.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things. Like even some of our coaches say it now too. They all hear Ivano say it, and they're like,
Yeah, because like we
so
can't.
fun.
I don't think we can use like a logo or like say Sun Valley. But if it was like a blue and gold shirt, like something
Thank
like
you,
that,
brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would that'll be a big hit. We got to pay for the studio somehow.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Rent's due.
Yeah, rent every day.
So you guys lost a couple core members last year. Josh Lillis was your ace. Icon Jones was also a very good player. Anything you guys have to say about what maybe they meant to the program, how they were as leaders?
Josh was just like our like backbone. I feel like he went out every single time. He was always consistent and just did what he needed to do. Icon, same thing. He was quiet but just did exactly what he needed to do. Always stealing bases. Just they were both very good examples for all of our like what we want to do.
I feel like those guys kind of like set the example for us of what the saying like "do your job" actually meant, because Icon, like, amazing player, but there would be sometimes like all he would have to do is put the ball in play and beat a ball out, and then he steals second, steals third. It's just like it's those little things like doing our job. And Josh was the type of guy that really just kept the team together when he felt like we were kind of falling or we couldn't get the bat on the ball. He would just go out there and pitch a gem for us. So
Yeah, Josh was always reliable for like a win if we needed one, because he was always out there pitching his heart out. Icon's just like an all-base machine last year. Just
And he
always
defends the whole entire outfield as well.
covers the whole thing.
Josh embarrassed me in the Delco League. His splitter is
it's
filthy.
disgusting.
Oh my god! And it's funny because like I go from covering these guys all year to like stepping the box,
Yeah.
and it's like, damn, I should probably just stay on the stay on the side.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
Towards the end, he was going like maybe like the last couple of weeks. I feel like he pitched like twice a week and was going
He
like
had a
100
tear.
pitches. But
He
it
had
was insane.
multiple complete games. He was just shutting out everybody.
And his first college start through a gem, he had
Yeah.
12 strikeouts. I want to see if he's pitched since then.
I don't think he-
I'm not sure because
last
they
I
were
looked,
they were
he
down
had.
south when it happened. But I mean, I just remember first off, I thought he was still at Misericordia, and then it popped up on the
Yeah, he
timeline.
transferred.
You know that I'm like, it's like
Didn't he-
Newman's Josh Lewis there has
Didn't he
12
go
strikeouts.
Wasn't he gonna go to Widener and then he went to?
I don't even know.
I
He
think
just,
it
I just know
was
he transferred.
I don't.
It's just that one start. Yeah,
Just the one.
yeah. It's good to have him back in Delco though. We don't really have too many
Yeah,
Newman
yeah.
guys.
That's just him and Isaiah Payton.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so who are some other people outside of you guys on the team, whether it be returning faces or new guys that we all need to know about?
Definitely Sabo, Sebastian Graham, Max Bartolf. He's a junior lefty. I'd say Jackson Messick. He started for us last year. And then you got Will Newnham, obviously. Who else is there? That's
Who's you were talking about Paul earlier?
Oh yeah, Paulie Miazzi is going to Holy Family, and he was like, kind of like I would say he would pitch he would like start the games that Josh wouldn't, and he has to step into the ace role. He is injured right now, so Sabo's stepping. He's starting.
He looked good
game
against
one.
Herton.
Yeah, Sabo's starting game 1 against Oxford on Tuesday, and then I would say Noah Griffin as well, and yeah, that's probably about it. Yeah.
Like I said before, like there's been a couple younger guys that have given us a lot of bright spots. Like Jackson Messick, he's gonna have a very big role for us this year. Max, increased role. Sabo, obviously, he's gonna have to eat up all those innings that we lost from Josh. But yeah, there's a lot of guys that are gonna give us all that confidence to push for a playoff spot this year.
Yeah, like we have a couple freshmen like Logan Coleman and Ryan Messick who've been really bright for us and going to be great in the future.
Yeah, they both stepped into scrimmages and shut down Pencrest and Harrison. So
You want to give a shout out to Sabo Training while you're here?
Sabo training.
Shout out Sabo.
Shout out.
I love it. Listen, every team's got to have these unique workout guys. Every team has one. Like for our club team, the morning of the national championship, we had this one guy, like California dude, surfer vibes, just lead like a team yoga session. It's like sometimes you need those vibes, you know, to get the
Sabo would
boys
definitely
going.
lead
Sabo
us in
would-
yoga.
Sabo
him
brings-
or Shep.
It's always the long hair guys. Always the long hair
I
guys.
forgot Matt Shepard's also somebody. He's been our varsity catcher since he was a freshman. And, yeah. And
No,
he's-
another Matt Shepard, catcher.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Delco League's Bonner guy.
Yeah. But Sabo, he just does what he does and plays spike ball pre and post practice. That's what he does. No socks.
No, so it's always
Just an ace.
I'm getting the vibes here.
So Brian Palmore is your guys' head coach. Anything you guys want to say about him, like how he's been as the head coach of the program?
I feel like he really turned our program around. He was our assistant coach when we first came in, and he just, I don't know, the way he just goes about it was a lot different than our first coach, and it's just brought a lot more success than what we've had in past years before.
I feel like we have come together much more as a team since he took over. It's just he does like kind of the little things very, very well. Like in between innings, he'll have like talk us up, get the team back into the game when we feel like we're kind of falling out of focus. So yeah, it's just those little things that I feel like has brought us together more.
Yeah, he's definitely brought us all together, and he has built back this program a lot because, like, this past years, like our freshman year was, like, maybe not one of our greatest years, and we've been better every year since then.
He's also just like a guy like in the community. Like I've known him since I was I don't even remember, like elementary. He like runs the Aston Community Center, and I've just seen him since I've been like growing up forever, and he's just always been a nice guy.
One of those guys that all of us growing up have known him, so we all have like kind of that tight bond with him, so it's easy to connect with him and understand kind of what he's saying in certain situations.
So has this like group of seniors been playing together even since like Little League?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Pretty
all
much either with each other or against each other. Like we've all known each other for a very long time.
us three played with each other since what 8 years old.
What
Maybe even younger.
Is that Aston Middletown?
We
or-
were
Aston
Aston
Valley.
Valley.
Aston Valley.
Aston
Okay,
Valley,
yeah,
right.
I forgot about Aston
But
Valley.
we all played both. I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah.
We both played.
Is Aston Valley still going?
Yeah.
What district are they? Because they weren't in like
Babe
the.
Ruth
They're
League.
Ripken.
They're-
that makes
They
sense.
were our
Okay,
like
that makes
biggest
sense.
rival playing
Gotcha.
when I was playing Ripken.
Because
ball.
we would only ever played them in like tournaments, like the
yeah.
different
No,
tournaments.
Ripken,
Yeah.
they're not
Are they?
Babe
I
Ruth.
thought they
Babe
were-
Ruth is like
Babe Ruth's like the 13.
Yeah, they're Ripken.
Babe Ruth is like the
Yeah.
teeners.
Yeah,
Teeners.
yeah. But I think Cal Ripken
Cal
that
Ripken,
make more sense. So we had a question on here about team chemistry. But we kind of already covered it a little. It seems like you guys all get along very well.
Way up,
Yeah. We're all friends outside of this. Like I said, we've kind of all grown up together, so we kind of know how to talk to each other and stick together.
Yeah.
And we just like know, like I don't know, like I know what makes Justin mad. Like I can like it's just like I know like everything about everyone on the team kind of thing. Like you know like what gets them going, what makes them like be more locked in kind of thing as well.
So who are some of the vocal leaders on the team?
I would say it's kind of us three right here.
Us
Are you guys the
three,
captains or?
And Matt
Shepard.
Shepard.
Matt Shepard's one of the most vocal guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
It's a catcher thing.
Yeah.
He's
To
like
just
really,
yell
he's
at
like
people,
really
you
like,
know?
he's like really like our glue guy.
Yeah, he's
Like,
definitely the
he
glue.
like we don't have a team without him.
Yeah, catchers are always the ones like they're always not always the captains, but they're the ones that like they're just always the smartest. It feels
Yeah.
like they just understand the game the best.
So we don't really cover the Chestmont that much, so we don't know a ton about it. Who in that league do you guys consider maybe like the best teams, like your biggest competition? You can tell us a little bit about some of the teams in the league.
I would say the best teams are probably the Downingtowns. and
Downingtowns.
Westchester East.
Westchester East.
Yeah.
Ruston was pretty good last year as well.
Yeah.
Henderson was good 2 years. I think. Well, I mean, they're still pretty good, but they like went far.
They made the district
very
championship
far.
the year before, yeah.
But the Downingtowns are just very good. Like they have
Chestnut is like all those teams are decent. That's why I feel like it's a lot of fun for us playing because every game is a game. It's not like we're just sitting there blowing teams out like 14-0 every game. Like every game it's like intense, close. Like, yeah.
Do you feel like you have a true rival in the conference? Because none of them are really that close.
I feel like we always have a good game against Oxford.
Yeah, and that's who you're starting with,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Ruston too. I think we've split the past 2 years
Yeah, we
with
did.
Ruston.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So according to my research, Sun Valley hasn't made the playoffs since 2015. Apparently, in that game, they lost to Nolan Jones, who's now on the Rockies, which is pretty cool. What needs to happen for that to change this year?
I just think we gotta have each other's backs at all times. We can't turn on each other like we have before. We just have to just be with each other.
Yeah, I just feel like we need to stick to our mottos of like doing our own job, doing the little things right, like taking everything serious in practice, not goofing off, not taking reps off. I think just every little thing is going to be important for this team for our success in the long run.
I think we just need to keep battling and trying to win as many games as possible because that's what we do. We battle back in games even when we're down by so much.
Yeah, we're a very gritty team. We won't give up. Like
And we were talking about that scrimmage earlier.
Like
10-0's nothing.
Well,
that's nothing.
They thought the game was over, and we just kept going.
Yeah, foot on the pedal.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about college baseball. So, Pat, you're going to Chestnut Hill.
Yes.
Just talk about the recruiting process, how you ended up there, and what made it feel like home.
So I was getting recruited. I had interest at like every level. I feel like, and then my travel organization All Star, they had this camp. It was a Division II camp, and I went there and I had a good camp, and I was like 2 for 2, something like that. Almost went like backside home run. And then
Not a big deal.
All right.
You're just being honest.
It was all but like every kid there like committed Division II, like PSAG, anywhere, like somewhere good. And Chestnut Hill called me. They called me out to the gym, and I got a phone call. I got an offer. I went down there. The team was like they just seemed like they were like a close knit team. I went and watched one of their games, like their inter squad games. The energy was up at all times. Coach Spratt made me feel like I was like wanted there, and so I just signed the paper and went there.
How far is it from here?
I'd say it's like 40 to 50 minutes away.
It's not bad.
Philly
Yeah, I
school,
know.
right?
Yeah, it's like right
I know
outside.
Paul Daly's there. Braden Foxwell's there.
Yeah.
Another Delco guy.
There's
I think.
one other kid that was like the relief pitcher that we.
Yeah, there was a
forget.
guy that we didn't know. I think from Lower Marion,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
There's one
before.
kid from Ridley too, McNichol.
That's right. He
Okay,
was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you talked to any of them?
Yeah, he was one of the reasons why when I went down there. He said it was a good time, so I just wanted to go down there.
I love it. Ivano, you're going to Penn State Brandywine. You're staying in Delco. I love it. They're going to be a D3 team next year.
Yep.
So we'll be playing D3. Same thing. I played there for a year, so I know Vinny. I know the program. Just talk about how that process went as well.
Honestly, I was in physics class when I got the text from their coach, answered them back, and went all the way up from there. Then kept playing baseball during the summer, and they kept following me, and just got recruited since then, and they've always wanted me.
So who committed first? You or Will? I forget.
Will did. Will did probably a month or 2 before me.
So did he kind of help try and convince you stick
well,
together?
me and him have been friends, really close friends since we were younger, since baseball, because really
So how cool is it to be able to kind of keep that going in college?
was great. And so my other friend Luke Ferriola, who plays on our Sun Valley team, he's going there too, I think.
Just as a student?
Just
or?
as a student, yeah.
Justin, you ready to announce your commitment to Penn State Club Baseball live on the air? Yeah, let's put a hat on.
I'm going for it. Throughout all high school, I thought baseball's my thing. I want to go to college for baseball. I don't care what level. And there's nothing wrong with any level. College baseball is college baseball. But as time kind of went by, it was because I've kind of preached always to keep good grades in school, and I've kind of had opportunities to go to these bigger schools like Penn State, and I just kind of felt like that was more appealing to me, and the idea of me being able to have a chance to go play club baseball for an extremely competitive team like that, it was just really appealing to me, and the fact I get to go to Penn State, go to football games and stuff.
So you're going there no matter what, right?
Yeah.
You already decided.
Yeah.
I think they have club soccer as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I might try to go for club soccer too. I don't know about basketball. Definitely not basketball. I'll play intramural basketball, but
I would say, so the trials for baseball are in the fall. I'd say trial for baseball, don't make it, go for soccer the next year.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality. But yeah, I loved up there. I spent 5 years at Penn State before in-state college. Be ready to have Under Armours. That's all I have to say. We played
don't worry.
multiple games in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun though. I mean, the club's a good time. You know, we won the World Series last year, so obviously the club's in a good spot. And the year before that, we made the Final Four. But it's just a good balance between you get to play good competitive baseball, but you also get to have a social life. You get to be able to take classes and not be like trying to cram everything. It's like 2 or 3 practices a week. Only weekend games. So yeah, best of luck at that. Hopefully you make it. A lot of Delco guys. A lot of Delco guys on the team.
Yeah.
We got 2 guys from Marple, 2 guys from Radnor, Garnet Valley, Stoga, Sun Valley next year. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
Got to put in a good word there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I still know all the coaches, and it's cool because it's student run. So like all the coaches are students. Like they're just coaches, not like player coaches. But yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the show today. We appreciate it. We'll let you know when the Thank You Brother shirts are dropping on the website, and we'll go from there.
Give one more, Bono.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, boys. We'll see you. Thank you. All right, thank you to our guys from Sun Valley for coming on the show today. That might be the funniest group we've had so far. They were
a good time.
Thank you, brother. That was the first time I've actually felt like, wow, I'm washed. I'm old. I knew who Sketch was, but I didn't understand all the references. I just knew he was like a streamer and everything.
In a weird way, so I guess it's kind of weird because we did this interview on Saturday. It's now Thursday. In a weird way, since that, I've seen so much Sketch stuff.
Of it.
Like, it's everywhere.
It's either
like, what happened?
There's a couple obvious answers. A, our phones are listening to us. They hear the word Sketch, and now they show it. 2, when I searched for him, like on TikTok or Instagram, the algorithm just started seeing it more. But now it's like I can't get away from him.
I didn't even search for him. I'm pretty sure Ivano just put me in the Matrix. Like,
yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm hysterical though. But those guys are great. I appreciated them coming on and kind of giving us that perspective on like playing in the Del Val when you're not, or I'm sorry, playing in the Chessmont when you're neither chess nor mont.
Yeah, definitely. It was cool to hear a lot about all that from them. And I don't know. It seems like they got a really good group in there. I'm excited to see how they do this.
Very good team chemistry.
Yeah.
They seem to be in very good spirits. Like when you lose your best pitcher, in Josh Lillis and best hitter in Icon Jones, like to be able to kind of group together and be like, obviously they were a little top heavy last year to kind of feel like they're a more well-rounded type of
you definitely get that vibe.
Type of group is that good. But we look forward to having those guys, seeing their success for the rest of the season. We're going to move into college baseball here. And I mean, I'm still jaw dropped at this performance here. So I was sitting in bed probably about like 6 or 7 p.m. and I get a text from a friend of the program, Freddie Hilliard. Okay. And, before I opened it, I'm like, uh-oh, like, did I post something wrong? Like, did I mess up?
What did I do?
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting it. And he said, did you see the day that Big Mike had? So I'm thinking like, he probably had like a homer or 2, maybe like 5 or 6 RBIs. No, he drove in 12 runs in one game.
That is ridiculous.
Not a doubleheader. In one game, he went 5 for 6. He had 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs, one of those being a grand slam. I don't think I've ever seen in like, I guess, I don't even know how to phrase it, like in non-professional baseball in our area. Like someone from our area, like 12 RBIs is absurd.
I don't know if I've seen 12 RBIs in professional baseball.
I remember there was one guy that hit 4 home runs in a game, I think, that did it.
Josh Hamilton hit 4. Was he?
Let's see. I remember there's this one guy, my uncle, shout out my Uncle Eddie. He never watched this because he likes reading articles. Not, he's too much of a boomer for this. But there was a guy that they used to call hard hitting Mark Whitten. All time great nickname.
Hard hitting Mark Whitten.
All time great.
Hell yeah.
And I want to say he had 12 RBIs. Yep, yeah. It tied a record. So nobody in the majors has even done more than 12.
Yeah.
At least as of September 2023.
Okay.
So he basically just did something that only. Yeah, look at this. Hard hitting Mark Whitten. Grand slam, 3-run, 3-run, and 2-run homers.
Jesus.
And in a game. Wait, the pitcher was named Mike Anderson. That is so weird. That is so weird. I think we should make a reel out of that. That is so bizarre. What are the odds of that? I think we both noticed at the same time. We're like, wait a minute. For anyone watching
did a double take there.
Anyone watching on YouTube, you'll see that. If you're listening, you could probably, imagine just Ben and I just like, wait a minute, Mike Anderson. And wait, I don't like how 2 of them were off. That's hysterical.
Tough one there.
Yeah, 12 RBIs. I think the crazy thing about it was, I believe going into that game, he had 8 total in the first like 15 or 16 games. That makes the season total look a lot better.
Yeah, it's a nice little stat pattern there.
Yeah, Mike's going to be up in the Cape Cod League this summer, so if we can make a little road trip there, that'd be fun. We also have to give a quick shout out to Isaiah Winokur because I totally forgot to add him on. So basically what we do, if you're ever wondering, we have like an Apple Notes page of like there's one for the D1 guys, one for D2, then one for D3 like JUCO club guys, and we've talked about Isaiah I think in the show before. But I guess I just forgot to add him onto the list. He's on a 12-game hitting streak, and he like slid into our DMs. He's like, damn, no love. And I think I said back, I'm like, I'll be honest, dude. Like, I think I just thought you were graduated. Like, I think he was
just completely missed it.
He was either a 2017 or 2018 high school grad because he went yard against us. I remember that. But he's hitting 358 on the year. He had 2 home runs against UW Stevens Point. So yeah, that's a great outing for him there, and potential another national championship, caliber season for the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays.
Yeah, good year to be a Blue Jay.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. Good year to be a Blue Jay.
I totally forgot to write his name on here, but another guy that we had someone DM us about, Logan Nelson at Alvernia, went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and a double. 4 RBIs, and I think it was Shane McDermott, another Garnet Valley Alvernia guy, had DM'd me about it, and it was the same day that Garnet Valley scored 19 runs. So even their alums,
so on Wednesday,
even their alums are going crazy.
That whole town can just rake.
At one time, they just they're all getting it, together. Yeah. All right, so let's pull up. So anybody that follows us on Instagram, like social media, you will have seen this, but we just want to elaborate a little. So I want to give a big shout out to Jack O'Reilly. He's an Episcopal alum. He's
on the slides.
He's at Villanova. Back on the slides. He hit his 4th and 5th home runs of the year in just 17 games. He's got a 10-game hit streak. Had 2 last week. And I got to say, man, these Nova uniforms are pretty.
Oh, they're so clean. Just for anyone who hasn't seen, it's like a white and then kind of like a retro stripe down the sides.
I love the retro stripe.
Absolutely. I love a nice retro stripe.
Yeah. I got a feeling if he doesn't end up either getting drafted or signing to play pro or indie ball, we could see him back in the Delco League, which terrifies me.
It's a very real possibility, yeah.
If he's not on our team, it terrifies me.
He was a Black Sox before.
He was, that's right.
So
I know we got a little hole at third base, so who knows? Maybe he could be talked into wearing a different type of pinstripes.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, all right, let's move on here. We got Steven DiBattista. I believe Debo is what the boys call him. Someone commented that. He's a Bonner guy, 4 Immaculata, 8 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. I was told that he only came out of the game at 89 pitches because they were up by so much.
Makes sense.
The Macs are getting ready to go after I believe it would be their 3rd straight Atlantic East title.
Yes, I believe so.
It's my dumb brain. I always think they're in the MAC because their name is the Macs. I swear at some point on this show, I've said that they're going to try and win the MAC, but they are in the Atlantic East, correct?
Yes, they're in the Atlantic East.
Man, if we get I would like an Immaculata and Cabrini playoff game.
That'd be sick.
Whichever way it goes, obviously, it's weird because I think Immaculata has more Delco guys, but Cabrini's a Delco team.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird balance, but
either way, good for the brand.
Yeah, I mean, DiBattista has been a stud since we started this. Since I started, back in 22, it was called Delco to the Show. It was covering the guys that were, it was just the high school guys playing college or minor league ball. But he's been a regular fixture in this, and I would have to imagine he's probably a senior by this point.
Gotta be, yeah.
All right, let's move on here to Max Hitman, which is a great name for a hitter. If you're a pitcher, not quite as ideal.
No. Unless you throw at a bunch of guys. Then.
I always think about some of the worst baseball names. You remember that Rays closer when we were in the World Series, Grant Balfour? That was just one of those, if you're a pitcher.
Dude, he was really good, though.
He was
really good.
But it's if your name's Grant Balfour and you're a pitcher, that's just a tough scene. Max Hitman, 7 for 14 at the plate, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. Another school that's a very Delco-heavy team is St. Joe's. As we mentioned, they got, I believe, 5 guys on their team there. I want to say maybe almost all of them, 4 or 5, have been mentioned on the show.
Yeah.
Luke Zimmerman's been in the slides. Tim Dickinson, Don Picone. They've all made the slides.
Yeah,
I think
Max
Paul
Zimmerman.
Kogel is the last of the crew.
Yeah,
he's
the fit that we haven't really.
Yeah, but it's cool to see them all contributing here, and once the Atlantic 10 tournament comes, if Rhode Island's in it, that'll be a lot of Delco guys. Don Picone revenge game, leaving Rhode Island.
Could be something.
I don't know how it ended, whether positive or negatively, but We also have Jay Starnish from Stoga. He's on St. Bonnie's. I'm sure there's more A10 guys that we're missing here. But let's move on to my guy, Wayne. Or I shouldn't even say Wayne alum. He's still on Wayne. Cole Peichel, 7 shutout innings, a complete game for Dickinson. I completely forgot to write the name of the team they played. I know it was down south. You're a D3 expert here.
I can do this. No, it wasn't.
Let's see if I can get it before you.
Wisconsin Superior.
Was it a UW branch?
It was a UW branch. I think it was Wisconsin Superior.
You're right.
Bang! Come on.
Let's go. You are superior.
Let's go.
I listen, as someone who's gotten familiar with Wisconsin branches because we beat UW Whitewater in our national championship. I have a soft spot for them.
There's a few of them.
There's a few of them here, and I think lacrosse is one. UW lacrosse is a squad.
Yes,
I swear to God, there's one.
UW lacrosse is one. There's Stevens Point, Oshkosh.
I think it's Milwaukee, right? UW.
Yeah, but they're not D3. They're
okay. Got it.
Yeah, no, it is UW Milwaukee, but they're D1.
All right, we'll stay on Dickinson here. We got Dylan Pasenchek. Now, he went to Friends Central. I'm like 99% sure he's from Delco, though. I don't know where. Let's see if we can look it up because I know he still plays in the Delco League. He's just one of those people where, like, if you just talk to him, you can just tell he's from Delco. So, Newtown Square. Yeah. I knew he's Delco. Like, just the way he plays, like his personality, especially him and Mike Anderson would just never shut up on the field. They're obviously like, it's not like they were shit talking. They were more like trying to hype the at the time Mudcats up. But he went 5 for 12. He had 2 doubles, 2 knocks, hitting .444 through 9 games. Still just a sophomore. I know he was starting pretty much from day one when he got there. And a very heavy Delco team. Will Ferris, Haverford School, Grayson Walker, Haverford School, along with Peichel. So Centennial Conference could be another one of those teams where we see Delco guys play each other.
Yeah.
I believe next on the list is another Centennial guy, Brad Johnston from Episcopal. Now, the thing is, I don't want to say I'm necessarily surprised, but he did not have the best senior year, like statistically. He did well in the playoffs, especially at the one Mercersburg game I was at. But I can't say I expected him to go in to a program like Swarthmore, get a hit in all 7 Florida games, 2 homers, hitting, 12 for 33 on the trip. Maybe there's just something that SWAT kind of saw and could help him like fix, maybe to make him feel more comfortable. Like whatever it is, he's off to a very quick start.
Yeah, and that's sometimes guys just have a down year. I don't know. It is what it is. That happens. Also, you go to college, get on a little bit different program, something. Sometimes stuff just clicks. It's cool to see that he's just out here kind of doing this.
Yeah, it's change of environment. We always love our Delco stayed in Delco kind of guys.
Yeah.
And big week for him here. We got Mike Valente. I should have put him and Peichel next to each other because they're both dogs for our Wayne team. Another Strathaven alum. He has been the definition of just rock solid. He had 3 of his 4 starts this year, 6 innings pitched, and 1 earned run or fewer. Jeez. This one was 7 innings, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, and he's a guy who has taken such a big leap from when he was in high school, like in terms of just like filling out physically and getting that velo up. I mean, I never thought when I saw him as a skinny, 10th, 11th grader that he'd be hitting 90, but here we are. And to do this in such a good conference like the PSAC is very cool, especially as a sophomore. He'll only be getting better there. So shout out to the boy Mike, and obviously you got to see him pitch a little bit as well.
Yeah,
throughout the summer.
I saw him actually. The only time I saw him, I think, was in the championship series.
Yeah. Which, of course, it wasn't his best outing either.
No, he still threw pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, we know how that Blue Sox lineup is. First appearance of the season, I believe, for Eric Genther. Started a little slow. He's been heating up. Another Rhode Island guy. Him and Mike Anderson is must-see TV in the order. He went 5 for 13, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs, a little 5-game hit streak. I remember it was either... I think it was Mrs. Genther, not Mrs. Anderson, to DM me because I guess at the beginning of the year, him and Mike both started in a slump. And they were at some point, I think it was like 3 or 4 for like 30 something. And I said back, I'm like, these guys are too talented to have one slump, be the difference. And what do you know? They're both of their season numbers are creeping back up. And imagine being in a slump and next thing you know, you're hitting 12 RBIs in a game like Mike. So yeah, these guys are way too good to be able to kind of hold them down for a while. So great week from Eric here. Frank Perotti, I'll let you talk about this one because he's a Blue Sox.
Finally got a little bit. I think is this our first Upper Darby Blue Sox representation?
Sammy B.
Sammy B was on there. Yeah.
Sammy B.
Yeah, a little. I guess started for DeSales. 6.2 innings pitched, 3 Ks, shutout. I think they played Del Val.
Yep.
Which the other game I think that day was the one that was like 24 to.
The doubleheader.
Yeah, there was a doubleheader. Go up to the DeSales thing. They had. It was that I think it was either that game for Frank the day before or
It definitely was it definitely was that matchup. DeSales and Del Val. Now that you mention it,
there was an insane game. Where was it?
25. Oh my God! Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait. So it was the first game of a doubleheader. It was they won 4-1. So that was the game that was a conference game too.
Actually, I think he might have thrown. The
7.
He might have thrown the first one.
The 7-8 loss.
No, maybe not.
No, it would. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he came in relief.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. He came in relief. That makes more
messed
sense.
it up. Yeah, so all right, 6.2 in relief.
That's even more impressive, honestly.
Yeah, dude, just chucking out of the pen.
But the fact that DeSales, we also got Jeremy Strandix, Mike Happersett there. Their next two games.
Hooker.
Mike Hooker, that's right, Ridley. 25-20 and 20-19 in consecutive games.
Both wins.
Both wins, but man, talk about hitting the over. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's crazy. But
Shout out
yeah.
to Frank, though.
Yeah.
See you this summer.
Cody Grande. So we just had Springfield on. We were talking about the Grande family. 7 for 15. He had 7 RBIs for Williamson trade. Now, that was a team I don't really think we've talked about a lot, but they do have a good amount of Delco guys. Jake Nauman from Ridley was there. I think Zach Ladislaw from Ridley was also there.
I went and looked. They're genuinely at least 50% Delco guys. It's a ton of guys, and it's a ton of guys that like, you kind of look at. It's like, oh, I maybe like remember him from
I think
this, that, and the other.
I knew Dan Neary went to Brandywine. His brother, I think Ryan Neary. I mean,
yes,
he looks exactly like him, so I'd imagine that's him as well. What are some other names we recognize here? Let's see. Sam Kappa. I'm pretty sure one of the Kappas is on O'Hara, I think.
Maybe he didn't go to O'Hara. It was a different, but he's from Berwyn.
He's Berwyn,
so.
yeah. High school. What is Regina Luminis High School? I've never heard of that in my life. Huh. That's funny. Mike Krakovitz, he's a Delco guy. I know that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of these guys.
I think he's Radner. Upper Darby. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, no, school. What, are they USCAA?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I don't think they're. So is that's different than like National Juke? Like they're not NJCAA.
No,
right?
yeah, they're a different.
They're just small college, not junior college.
I mean, they're a 4-year school, I believe, or whatever
you need for a trade.
Yeah, whatever you need for the trade.
Yeah, and I think that I want to say he was an honorable mention All-American last year. Cody was. I think if I recall reading the article, I think he struck out one time the entire season last year, which is nuts. Do you remember what year did he graduate Springfield? Was he 22? Because he definitely wasn't on the team last year.
Yes, I believe it was 22.
Yeah, he was USCA All-American. He was okay. Yeah, so he was a freshman, 23. So he would have been would have been graduate. Yeah, that's.
Wow.
477. He finished 6th in the nation, hitting 477.
Holy crap.
He struck out just one time all season. That's nuts.
Damn.
That is nuts. Yeah, shout out Cody.
All out, man.
All right, so that's it for our college guys here. We don't really have much to talk about MLB wise, but we got to talk about the Shohei Ohtani scandal here. So obviously, as we mentioned, this is being recorded Thursday afternoon. I'm very curious if any more will come out of it by the time this is posted. Hopefully before I leave for State College for a little ring ceremony this weekend against Chris Chung and Pitt, if the weather cooperates. But as of right now, all we really know is that Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, his translator, was fired. Now, we know it's around gambling, and we know that it involves a large sum of money, but we don't know is who did what, basically.
So, I mean, first off, we got Gary tinfoil hats on. But what they said was that he stole the money, but the original thing that they were going to say was that Shohei gave him the money. So and I saw something else where people were kind of talking with people who work in banking and talking about how hard it is to fake a wire, like a wire transfer. And having recently done a wire transfer, I don't know how someone would do that for you.
So do you think it's more likely that his interpreter had a gambling problem and Shohei is saving him, or Shohei has a gambling problem and he's the fall guy?
I have no idea.
I just find it hard to believe that Shohei would be.
If Shohei was down $4.5 million in like gambling wise, like there's no way that would have just like not come out.
I mean, if I had to guess, I think it's just that like his interpreter had a gambling problem. Shohei wanted to help him out, and then found out, wait, you can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's probably had the problem. Shohei bailed him out. They were going to, and someone again like tweeted like what I think happened. It's kind of exactly as he had a problem, like just I don't know, gambling.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, gambling's an addiction. Like all that shit's everywhere now. It's very easy to fall into that hole.
The problem is it's legal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very accessible.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this is through the bookie, so like not exactly legal, but still.
That's right. It's not in California. Yeah. That's right.
But still, it's really easy.
That's the problem.
It's really easy to fall in that hole. $4.5 million down. Shohei bailed him out because they're both very good friends. They were like, probably something came out about it. Like, yeah, we'll just say like this happened. Found out that's incredibly illegal, and now they have to switch the story.
I saw a great tweet that said something like, all right, now we go live to our FanDuel SportsCenter recap presented by DraftKings, and here is Jeff Passan brought to you by BetMGM.
Mm-hmm.
How could something like this happen? It's like, well, because betting's everywhere,
And that's, listen, like, I'll gamble a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's a fun thing, but, like, when you put, like, you make this, like, the sponsors for sports leagues and put it in, like, everything, like, you can't turn around and act shocked when people are gambling on sports that are like members of your league.
One thing I also think is very dumb aren't in some leagues you're not allowed to bet on other sports?
Yeah, so there's that. Like I think the NFL you can't place bets in a team facility.
Yeah,
that's what Jameson Williams got popped for. But it's still like
I understand NFL players shouldn't be able to bet on other NFL games. Because say you have a buddy on the Jets and there's like, don't tell anybody, but like, Garrett Wilson's not playing today, and it's not public yet. Like that's literally insider trading. But man, that's
it's just a thing of like you're running gambling ads and all this shit everywhere, and then like clutching your pearls when like someone actually like in your league does it. It's stupid and it's like hypocritical.
Let's see if let's see if there's any new news. This is 7:34 p.m. on Thursday night.
Potentially breaking. This is why we can't have nice things. It's very fair.
I mean, I will say the one clip is the fact that Shohei and him are seen like talking and laughing and smiling and everything like hours before it broke out. But man, I just think that it's such a bizarre story, and especially because like, I hope this is taken the right way, that like because Shohei doesn't really speak much English, we don't really know too much about him, just like pure like personality wise.
He's a very private person.
He is. I mean, we didn't know his wife. We didn't know his wife.
He hit his wife for a while.
Like I couldn't like, but all you can see is what's on TV, right? He seems like a happy guy, but like you never know what he's saying, what he's talking about. Like it could be translated, but like it's not. You don't get the feel for him. Like we know how Bryce Harper is, Kyle Schwarber is, like Castellanos, more personalities.
Again, those guys are also, I think, much more public figures.
Yeah.
But
it's just a crazy situation.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to sound like I think there's a little bit more than meets the eye. I don't think it's like Shohei's a DJ gambler, but I'm sure I would believe that he was probably helping his boy out and then kind of figured out the rules of all this.
All right, last thing I actually do want to talk about, we didn't have it on here, is I feel like too many people were mad about the game starting in Korea, like the 6 a.m. start, like whatever. And it's like, if people want people to grow the game, then you kind of have to do some stuff. I love that. I mean, especially for me working as a substitute teacher, I wake up this like at first pitch, right? Like I was, making breakfast in the top of the first inning. So I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. Like, but I understand, especially for West Coast people, but it's like, hey, like, Shohei's Japanese following and any like Korean player, Chinese, whatever, like they're watching games at 3 a.m. to the majors.
They're
like,
going through it just to watch.
God forbid we let them do it for once.
You also got to think with like the Dodgers and Giants in terms of like Asian player star power. You have Shohei, Yamamoto, Yu Darvish, the Matsui guy, Ha-Seong Kim is huge.
Who's the one the Giants just signed? Something Kim?
Jung-Hoo Lee.
Lee, that's right. Yeah.
But like, you're bringing two teams with like these like guys who are massive stars over there. Like, it's a really cool thing. I don't know.
I'm sure the players enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I think it was a little weird that they're playing meaningful games, then going back to spring training, and playing meaningful games again. But no, I liked it. I like that they're going and doing that and giving other countries meaningful games to see.
Same thing with the NFL. Yeah. But all right, well, great show today. I think we did a good job covering what we saw around the league. I can't wait for it to be like basically all conference games all the time, especially PCL games starting, Interac, those Mondays where we get 6 Central League games to talk about. But I'm looking forward to that. Programming note: our next show won't be for a little bit. So as I mentioned, this weekend going up to State College, getting our championship rings. So we won't have anybody in this weekend. I believe next Saturday would be our plan to come back, cover that whole week, and go from there.
Yeah.
All right. As always, make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a follow on social media. Shout out producer Rob coming in on a Thursday night here out of our usual Saturday slot. But we'll be back there very soon. But as always, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.